Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to talk about pots and my Neos and why I use one over the other. So first, we're going to go through each of these so that you know what the name is. This is a plastic net dome, a plastic Neopot, a fancy Neopot, a net pot, a shorter clay pot, and a longer trumpet clay pot. So first, this is a plastic net dome. This is used to create those neat mounds and shapes you see here. All three of these have this under there. And two, it gives it some structure so that the moss mound doesn't cave in on itself and stays hollow. This was purchased off someone on Facebook. I don't think this particular design is available in the States, but you can use an inverted net pot under the moss mound if you don't have that, as long as it's hollow and it has ventilated sides. Number two is our plastic net pot. This is a common pot used to grow your Neos in. I got this for $2 from a vendor maybe 2 years ago. A lot of ventilated sides, large opening, and even holes through the legs, which means if you water, the water can just go straight down and drain. If you're a first-time Neo grower, you're wondering why is there a large opening at the base of this pot? Well, Neos are actually called wind orchids if you translate the characters from Korean and Chinese. Not sure about Japanese since I don't speak that, which means they need a lot of airflow. And personally, I find that they don't like to stay wet that long. So this is kind of helping it dry faster. And also before you water them, you would stick your hand through the mound to make sure the inside of the moss mound is actually dry before you water. This is a fancy Neopot, very nice, cost me $50 to $100. When I began, I kind of was suckered into thinking, oh, I need to have these to grow my Neos, they're so pretty. Wrong. You don't need these to grow your Neos. These are used for three main reasons. Number one, competitions. Number two, exhibition. Number three, photographs. This is not ideal for growing them because it's coated, which means it doesn't dry as fast, and also I'm not sure you want to dirty expensive items like this growing your plants in 24/7. So you don't need this. This is just nice to have. If you don't have either of these, it's totally fine to use a net pot. Ventilation, ventilation. You can just stick the whole mound into the pot. Now, we're going to talk about these clay pots, which I actually prefer over these. And I'm speaking on behalf of someone, as somebody that lives in the Pacific Northwest. It stays humid, it doesn't get that hot, it doesn't get that cold. I found that if my Neos are not drying within 4 days in the summer or spring, it's going to take twice as long in the winter to dry, which is bad news for the roots. Now, I have two different types here, and I prefer this one because this one is more shallow. The opening is actually much smaller compared to the larger opening here. But because I bought a bunch of them because they look so pretty, I still use them. So we're featuring my Jukai, this cutie. It has shorter roots. It's not growing that fast, so it won't get blocked by the shallow pot when it's growing. It has a lot of time left to grow. This one is my established Tamakongo. When I got this, the roots were crazy. Like the entire mass inside there is just roots. So what I actually did is I didn't use this. I don't need this for the shape, nor do I need it to keep the moss standing upright, because the roots are basically doing that for me. So any of my really established Neos that have a lot of roots, I simply wrap the moss in the outer perimeter of the root mass. I don't put any in the center. Obviously, if you live in a dry climate like Arizona, you would want to put moss in the center because it's going to dry out way too fast. So this is my video on Neofinetia pots. Please use caution. Not every home is the same, so maybe these pots will work better for you if you live in a super dry area versus using these clay pots. Thank you for watching. See you again next time.